Hey there, Internet, Keith here, and welcome to the Cars and Keith YouTube channel. In this video, we're going over the Grandfalls Pressure Washer Pro. Now, before, I had been given a review unit about a year ago, and that was the only one they had. Now, that is considered their second tier, which is their upgraded model. So I'll go over each of their tiers. They have 4 different ones, and whether or not this one is right for you or one of those is, because one of them, I believe, is the best value overall, and it's not necessarily this one. Now this is the review unit from last year, and this will be considered their plus model now, which is about $330. Now for $310 is their base model, just called the Grandfalls Pressure Washer. Now that one has a very cheap spray gun and foam cannon. I would not suggest that one. I would suggest at least the plus, which comes with a metal foam cannon and a decent spray gun. Now the next model up is called the Plus Plus, which I believe is the best value overall from their brand. It is basically this entire unit with that hose reel and that hose. That makes a huge difference and is well worth the price because this hose is awesome. I'll be showing that to you here in a minute. Now the Pro model here is $600. And what you get for that over the Plus Plus is an induction motor that lasts 2 to 3 times as long, or is more an industrial type of motor. So that gives you tons of longevity and quality. Now we got those models out of the way. They will be having a Black Friday sale from November 18th to the 30th on the Draft Tools website. For every $600 spent, you save $75. For every $1,000 spent, you save $100. And if you use my code CarsWithKeith during the Black Friday sale, you'll be getting a garden hose splitter for free worth $20. The biggest thing that I wanted over that previous model is a better hose. And well, they gave us that one, and it's replaceable. Now, the really cool thing about this hose is it's very Uberflex-like. So it's a much softer material. You see, we just pull out and it locks in place. And it's really flexible. You can pull it and it doesn't kink. It's a really good hose. Now with an induction motor, obviously you get longer life. But the problem with induction motors, brushless motors, they usually have a ramp up. This one is heavier, and that's why I put the board back here behind the wall, and the mount is now mounted directly to that board instead of through drywall anchors. I would strongly suggest that you shore up whatever this is going to be mounted to. When I added the board here to mount this to, I moved the pressure washer over a little bit compared to the old one. I've added a heater hose here to the end. The heater hose is kind of an extension because the original hose that comes with it, which is really nice, it's very high quality, it's just not long enough. So this goes down around this corner down here, and I have my quick disconnect down here at the bottom, so that way I can run the hose from the side of the house to right here. Now another big difference here is the feeder. It's a much nicer ball bearing style that allows you to come from so many different directions. Now you can tell the original one just has these 2 rollers on it, so it doesn't allow you to go side to side, just mainly up and down. So here's the foam can that comes with it. Like I said, it's a metal top, which out of the box for most pressure washers, they never give you a metal style one. And there's a nice spot up here at the top that holds the foam cannon, sits in there nice and snug. Here's your gun. It's not bad. I don't really like the form factor, but the M22 fitting here is kind of different. It's a little bit larger. But let's put the extension on here and find out. So there it is all together. You have your quarter-inch quick disconnect at the end that allows you to connect your foam cannon and also your nozzles that come with it. Now you get 4 nozzles, and they're actually stamped. They're 1.8 orifices that come with it. You have a 15 degree, 0 degree, your 25 degree, and your 40 degree. Now I'm gonna show you a few things to make this stock setup even better for just a few dollars in adapters. This is an M22 14mm to 1/4-inch quick disconnect. This allows you to take that longer wand and shorten it up. There is a 1-piece unit that does the exact same thing. I'll leave a link in the description below. And now we have a much shorter wand. That's going to be a big difference when you hook up your foam cannon and it's right here instead of way further at the end, weighing down your whole pressure washer gun. Now this is another quick, cheap upgrade that I suggest, and that is to convert your M22 to a 3/8 quick disconnect. This is going to allow you to connect to most aftermarket guns and also just make the quick disconnect between your regular stock gun and the hose much easier. So on the other end of that is an M22 14mm to 3/8 plug that will screw right into the bottom of the gun. Now that's going to allow you to quickly connect and disconnect your gun from your hose, so that way you can mount it up here separate without having all that hose hanging around. Now one important thing to say here is make sure that the pressure washer is off and you relieve the pressure from the gun before you pull the hose in and out. Now you just pull, and it locks. Pull it again, it goes right back in. Now when it's locked, it's not going to be accidental. You pull a good bit and it's not going to undo unless you pull hard. Then it will retract back in. Let's pull this whole thing out. So you see we have a yellow sticker here that warns you don't go past this point. So you see it's a 1/4 inch MPT thread. Looks like a male going into the unit. And the unit itself is also using a rubber hose to go inside and not some kind of hardened elbow that can break. Here we go back in. It's nice and uniform. It's great compared to the base model, which has the stiffer hose. It has a little bit tougher time keeping that nice, really uniform spool that a softer, more flexible hose can do. So this is just kind of straight. And this is at an angle coming right at the edge of my garage door, and it's pulling and retracting in just as easy as it is straight. So we're already this far out, which is more than enough to wash the car from any direction. As you see our hose, nice and flat. It is not curling. That's a long way out. You see the kind of stress that could be put on that hose going that far out with water and everything in it. You're definitely gonna want to make sure that's mounted properly. The hose, the retraction, the smoothness, it's buttery smooth compared to the base models. So what I have in here is 30:1 dilution ratio of Incredible Suds by DIY Detail. I will have a review out on the soap. It's probably out already. I'll have a link in the description below to their website, and I have a discount code CarsWithKeith as well. Now I already measured this as a 1.1 millimeter orifice that comes with this, so you don't have to change it out. It's good for this unit. This unit is not going to push high GPM. Make sure that if it's your first time using this or first time hooking up your water, make sure that you bleed the water all the way through before you turn it on. So you saw the ramp up there, how long it took for the foam to actually kick in. Now the pressure relief on that thing sounds like a firework, you know, the ones that scream and whistle into the sky. It's a little annoying. Let's see how it goes. You'll hear it as we're out here. Now you see, for a stock foamer, it's about as good as it gets. It's not the best, but I mean, what do you expect out of something this small and metal? Have you seen the other ones? They're basically soap dispensers. This one actually does foam. Now to wash, I'm using a 2.5 millimeter orifice. That's gonna dial down the pressure from its stock like 1500, 1600. It's not gonna meet the 2500 that it says it has. That's the internal pressure. By doing this, it puts it at about 1000 PSI or so. We'll measure the tests later, but I know it's pretty close and it's much safer for the finish on my car. Oh man. Now, as you can see, I'm holding the hose. Always hold it so it doesn't scratch up against the side of your car. So this is the MJJC. This is probably about the best foam cannon out there. It foams better than anything. This actually has a 1.25 in it, which is meant for higher GPM. But it does really well on the lower GPM just with the 1.25. It has the same dilution ratio that I put in the other bottle because I measured it into this one. 1 ounce for 32 ounces is what they say. You can see the difference between a high quality foam cannon. And like I said, we didn't have to change to a 1.1 millimeter orifice. We were running a 1.25 in here. That's just awesome. Now let's rinse this off using the setup that I have up here already. This is my McKillen's swivel sprayer. Great value, great quality, just overall awesome. You see how much shorter it is? That longer gun, even what I was using with the foam cannon, it puts strain on you. I mean, because it's sitting at such the end of that longer wand, creates leverage. And this right here, you have control because the hose is coming in the bottom, not right here. It makes a big difference. Now normally I would use the white 40-degree tip, but in the 2.5 orifice, I can't find my white one, so I'm using the orange one. All right, so I pulled a little bit of slack into the garage, and I'm gonna close the garage door. First, let's see what it sounds like now. All right, so my garage door is probably one of the least insulated ones you can buy. So this is kind of a worst case scenario for the sound. If you have a better door, probably less sound. Not as bad. Now before we get into the testing, I want to explain a couple of things that I've done with the older one and the newer one that weren't in any videos. Now the older one, before I got this Pro model, I actually took the hose, I opened my window, and I ran the hose all the way through the house and I cleaned my back porch off. Now also, when I got the Pro model, I went all the way through the kitchen, all the way around, through the bedroom, all the way back down the hallway into the bathroom, and I washed down the inside of our shower. The doors, everything. Cleaned so good, no need for chemicals or anything. This is the stock 40-degree nozzle. So we're at about 1700 PSI. This is the 2.5 nozzle. Right at 1100. This is a 3.0 nozzle. About 750, creeping up towards 800. Stock 1.8 nozzle. Now what I did there is I let it go 1 second over because of the ramp up. It's like we're not quite between 1.25 and 1.5. I'd say 1.35 gallons per minute. Dead center would be like 1.38. So yeah, that's not bad stock. All right, here is the 2.5. Well, I guess we would consider that 1.45. It's definitely not quite 1.5. So let's see at 800 PSI what we can get with that 3.0. 800 PSI isn't bad. It's more about feel more than anything. Like between that, 800 to 1200 PSI area, it's more personal preference. But there we are, 1.5, 1.55. I still would go with the 2.5. So now you've seen the numbers and everything else about the Pro model. Now it's up to you to decide whether $600 is worth it for you. But I think the $380 plus model is the best because it has that hose already. I've already tested the previous unit and it's not as loud in that whistle. The overall operation is slightly louder, but the kickoff at the end isn't that annoying fireworks sound. And for anybody spending $600 and has $600, I don't think money matters as much. But for most of my audience and for me, the budget-friendly version, the $380 plus is the way to go. That is my recommendation. I think it's a really good unit. That hose is great, reels out and everything. So don't forget to check out the bloopers in a second. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the links below, my discount code as well. See you in the next episode. Leave me alone. We had one downfall, which was the leaves. Every $1,000 spent, you save $1,000. Save $1,000. For every $600 spent, you save $6. And if you use my code CarsWithKiev, oh my gosh. And if you use my with one like this,